I almost call it baggage, but I'm just trying to let my regular fans, the sun's barely coming up, that's dawn, not a sunset. I'm trying to let my regular viewers, if I have any out there, because I don't know who watches what and if there's a repetition or anything like that. I'm just trying to let you know that if you see me, you know, like noodling in guitar prep or whatever, hey, I'm gonna be playing guitar, maybe that's a little more entertaining. There's a little more reflection and speculation, so you might not want to know personal details. But it's mid-July. It's been overcast here in California. Today's the World Cup final, and I started talking about some personal things that have been inside for a long time, because I'll be leaving this place, you know, a matter of time. It's here a little longer than I thought it would be. It's a land, hell, and trust. And I was talking about 1998. I thought I'd only be here a few years while I was trying to get my bachelor's from the Claremont colleges. And right now it looks like, you know, I have enough units that I could possibly be walking in May of 2011. But I closed the last piece talking about a fist fight, that when there was a trailer out here, another trailer, you know, I'd gotten into after being attacked while playing guitar. And I was talking about onions in the metaphorical way of peeling back onions. So my dad and I, we were about the same size in '98. He's decalcified. He's a little smaller now. He used to actually be taller than me before he decalcified. We've made amends a couple times. We've had one or two falling outs since then. And we got in a funny argument. Is a piece I put on Homer Cocktail 2 recently. We got in an argument about issues dealing with my niece and you know, his memories and, you know, circumstance about the school I, you know, plan to graduate from it all. We got another one of those kind of arguments. Didn't go to blows, but he came after me. I thought it was funny because he said, you're gonna kick my ass now. I'm gonna come after you. You're gonna kick. And I said, no. Back when I was chased, you know, there's a Freudian idea that animals, you know, people alike, have two options: fight or flight. When you're attacked, you'll do one of the other, usually. And the birds out here, typically they flee. That dog right there, see that dog? Well, they have canines, and if it's a smaller dog, usually a dog will fight back. But those are the tendencies, and I was cornered, you know, in the trailer over there. And I'd already, you know, I mentioned I took karate when I was 10, and somehow, you know, they you know, here's, you hold the fist like this. Never hold the fist like this, you'll break your thumb. And see, right? You rotate, hit flat. Oh, that's just one of the things I remember from when I was 10 years old. But there's my reactive spirit. Sometimes you don't know what's inside of you was a fight, not flee. And I'd already hit him 2 or 3 times because he tried to grab me. Hit him already 2 or 3 times before it even registered in my brain. Wow, I'm in the middle of a fight. That's the way it felt, at least, and I'm not, you know, gonna apologize or brag depending on what side of the issue you might be on, right? The point here is to illustrate that everything was going smooth in my life all the way through late 1997. At college, I was featured in periodicals. I was regarded by the staff. I went on a study abroad program where I was approved to, you know, I was recommended to go to Venezuela. I eventually went. I was in good graces at a job I had at a warehouse. Staples eventually bought them out. But I had nothing but good references as far as my write-ups. Family life was going well. My friends treated me well. Everything was going well up until late '97. I got involved in some political issues because that's what they recommend at Pitzer. One of them was a Ward Valley project. They're going to put a low-level radioactive waste 30 miles away from the Colorado River, and that was in the spring of '98. That I took it was like a seminar class, and the field within the ecology center was decent. I took it with a professor that I eventually had a falling out with, to the point that he took the stand against me. They charged me with a felony terrorist threat because I thought I was negligent. And this is stuff that's a tangent that I'll talk about at a later point. I talked about in part of my slab series at Homer Cocktail 076. But things were mostly good. I took a few classes from him. He said on stand I was one of his favorite students. I got no less than what's called an A/B. At Pitzer, they don't give A minuses or B pluses. They give A's, ABs, B's, BCs, etc. Or at least they used to. When I was leaving, they were changing that. But I was involved in this Save Ward Valley movement with the land of Ahamakov. That's the Indian tribe out there near the river. And this place called U.S. Ecology was trying to put a dump site for what's called low-level radioactive waste. That's gloves, syringes from biotech hospitals and research facilities. High-level radioactive waste is spent fuel from nuclear reactors and so forth. But my life is becoming a little more political, and because of the politics of the bar chats around my personal friends, they weren't as fun. And I've been involved in some labor issues as well. I'd done an internship in Seattle in the summer of '97, and like I said, life was leaning to the left because of what seems to be a liberal program at the school I went to. When I graduated, I hope to move more toward the center again. That's just, prudent for long-term success, and we'd studied, radical movements here and there. But, like I said, the closer I got to graduation, the words were still there. The words were still there about get it done, go for it, etc. The actions weren't there. My dad, he still hadn't apologized for attacking me, trying to grab me out of my trailer, etc. And he did some this past week, which, I kind of believed was coming ever since I was a little kid. And we have a minute and a half. This place he bought in 1973, he showed me plans. It was supposed to be a 3-story tower. That's the exact word. We eventually call this, the shed that was built, we call it the barn. But this was supposed to be a 3-story tower that he told me as a, toddler that was going to be mine. And supposedly the land, which is worth, $300,000 on the low end. If you check out Zillow, just check out acre and a half of any land in Fontana without anything on it. It's roughly about $300,000. This was supposed to be my inheritance, but he'd done this a couple of times. We went to Pitzer that day, me and my dad, just so I could show him, the atmosphere and everything. We got an unofficial transcript. One of my grades was changed from an incomplete to an F, and eventually a B. So that's going to help me walk possibly in May of 2011. And for some reason, in retrospect, this doesn't surprise me at all that we got in an argument. We went out to celebrate. He called a couple of people, and I don't know about the tone as far as sarcasm. And then he's yelling at me. And in the middle of the piece, which is a funny argument at Homer Cocktail 2, he says, "You could go ahead and get your degree, your bachelor's, but you're not going to have the inheritance." Which leads me to believe inside that onion I was talking about, he really doesn't want me to graduate. He wants me to be at his level. He took some community college classes. He never graduated community college. And some parents are like that. But this is 10 minutes. I gotta go.